Hello, how we doing? Welcome back to a little extra special episode of the Think Rugby podcast this week. So, before the Six Nations kicks off in a few weeks' time, we have the Scotland team sheet. As Andy did put on the previous episode, he popped up on the halfway through the episode. We are going to go through the squad, our initial reaction, initial thoughts together. Who's been lucky to get in, who deserves to be there, and maybe who's a bit unlucky not to get in at all. So, how we're going to start? I think we'll just start straight away, just maybe go position by position, go forwards and backs. I've definitely got a couple opinions I think some folk are quite unlucky to miss out on, but I think that'll be the main topic, is the ones who have missed out there, because all in all, it's a pretty expected, pretty standard, straightforward squad for Scotland, bar a few maybe omissions and a couple of wild cards thrown in there. Okay, so we'll start front row. Yeah, okay, start front row.
Yeah, go for it, yeah.
My first thought is, I always go back to Townsend when sometimes it's explanations for not taking people. For example, Johnny Matthews, to his age and everything, was decided to recall Dave Cherry back into the squad after his controversial omission from the squad a few seasons ago in the Six Nations. I don't know what happened. There was some sort of there's rumours in the street where some sort of slurs and everything going about. Maybe he had a one too many and he got the boot. But he's back in the squad, playing in second tier in France, which is respectably a very high level still, professional level, getting good money there. However, it's not top tier. And I was a bit disappointed to see that Gregor Hiddleston never got in, which you alluded to, which I fully agree with. Hiddleston's been playing pretty out of his skin as of late. Look at the competition he's up against with Glasgow, being like the team in Scotland, and he's not exactly a mature player yet, but he's taken it within his stride. He's in his early 20s and he's been excelling, and he just doesn't seem to get a shout. He's in the Scotland A squad, which is one thing, but I would have really liked to see him in this the Scotland, the actual Six Nations squad.
Yeah, definitely, I agree with that. I mean, Dave Cherry, quite a useful, kind of pesky kind of player, but as you said there, Gregor Hiddleston, yeah, Glasgow have gotten 20 points out of 20 in the Champions Cup. It's really difficult to understand why he's not been included in the squad, and by far, I would say, one of the biggest talking points online with Scottish rugby fans, certainly on Twitter anyway. Yeah, I'd say Seb Stevens, been there, done that for Glasgow. How is he not in the... I get why he's not been picked. You would want Ashman probably, then you would want Hiddleston, and then either Turner or Cherry. I wouldn't say both of them.
I would say leave Cherry out there. I'd say what a great point actually. Hiddleston ahead of Turner. Again, based off form, Turner's not been too great for Quins, so I think again another very very valid point raised there. It's a sad one, but it's only one. It's not like we're absolutely devastated by the whole team sheet, I guess, but it's only one. What other players in the forwards were you? Was it anyone really? That from what I can see, there's only one player, being Ben Muncaster. Muncaster will be the only player who's not been called up. But other than that, I think it's pretty straightforward, and a lot of people are there off merit.
Aye, Johnny Gray, aye.
What options would you say? I mean, we can discuss the injuries as well in that position, which probably has contributed to this as well. But what positions are you? What players are you possibly suggesting that should be there otherwise?
Well, as I alluded to in the autumn, although I was proven wrong with it. I'm fed up of Townsend and his clique journeyman. And Johnny Gray and Grant Gilchrist fall both into this category. Now, don't get me wrong, Johnny Gray is part of Bordeaux, obviously the European champions. Don't see him getting, he's not the number one lock for Bordeaux. For a football analogy, I would point to Stephen Fletcher in Scotland. Yeah, plays at a very good level, but did he score much goals? No.
Yeah.
Cam Henderson even omitted from the squad, and I'm unsure if Alex Samuels is injured or if he's just been plainly omitted. I'd rather go with them two ahead of Gilchrist and Johnny Gray, or as you said with Muncaster, go with him in the back row and put Brown into the second row, as he can play both.
The second row. I can't really disagree with you there, being perfectly honest. I keep looking back. The players that I'm happy to see there, but the two in particular, would be Freddie Douglas, but also Liam McConnell as well, both back rows for Edinburgh. It's a very stark position. Like realistically, it's going to be the Glasgow back row that be starting for Scotland in most games. If you've got like if you've got potential such as McConnell and Freddie Douglas kicking about, it spices up for a pretty good kind of bench. But also, like you say, Gregor Brown as well, who can play second row. I think you'll probably see Gregor Brown in second row quite a lot to like kind of compensate to have that Glasgow back row in. Have Gregor Brown in the row there. Yeah, again, he's comfortable there. Plays for Glasgow as well. Plays quite a lot for Glasgow. He's on the bench quite a lot. I think he's one of those players who maybe I would like to say he's one of those players that actually are better off the bench. But to be honest, his performance against the All Blacks that last autumn kind of completely knocks it on the head. To be honest, because he was absolutely phenomenal the whole game. So I think Gregor Brown needs to start somewhere, and to make up for this back row that Scotland have in terms of Glasgow players, he's got to go second row, which then maybe is the thinking behind maybe not calling up the boys you mentioned there. And Marshall Sykes as well, he's injured, is he?
Yeah, he's injured, yeah.
I was just going to say it's a shame that he's injured, because I think he would have been in with a shout as well. That's all.
Just on the subject of the back row, a thought that just came to me just now. Would you say that our back row is the envy of the other home nations? Obviously, Wales are just Wales. Nothing. It's literally an hour before we started recording, it came out that the Ospreys and Cardiff are to be both owned by the Y11 group. Yeah, we're not going to talk about that today. Obviously, Ireland have got a lot of good options in the back row themselves, but
Yeah, they do.
does Scotland have the same quality as what Ireland and England have?
I reckon England have the strongest depth. They could play their second choice back row and still be better than every single back row in the Six Nations, I believe. France, unbelievable back row. Italy, a bit like Scotland, good players but not lack the depth. Ireland, I would go on to say Scotland maybe I think I'd say they're on par with Ireland, to be honest. I know Ireland have Doris, Conan, Van der Fleer. Yeah, they've got Prendergast coming through as well. They've got a lot of decent players, but I would say
What's
in terms
Prendergast?
of Prendergast's brother, Oscar Prendergast. His brother is Cian Prendergast. Cian Prendergast, he's coming through the ranks. He's don't be
Shows how much
fooled.
I know.
Not Sam Prendergast. Don't be fooled. Don't be fooled. He's played a couple of games. He impressed in the autumn Coronation Series. Well, in my opinion, anyway. But so in terms of that, I think our equivalent would be like Freddie Douglas and other name McConnell. That would be the equivalent for me. Players that have shown promise, but also that lack of experience and need to get that valuable game time. But competing against a world class back row already. Would I say Scotland's back row is world class? I think there's potential to be world class. I think Dempsey, who's actually been nominated for Investec Player of the Year, he's. I think I sent it to you earlier on. You've got to show some level of class there to be nominated for that. Dempsey's been phenomenal. Shame he's had his injury problems, but he's back now and he's ready to go, ready to smash the Six Nations. I think I'm done speaking about the forwards, to be honest. I'm ready to go into the backs.
Let's go to the backs then.
Lovely. Nice one. So, we've got Fergus Buck. He's in for his second Six Nations. However, he never played last time, but he has had some minutes for Scotland since. I wouldn't say he's lucky, but I think there was one other player, which I guess there must be based enough experience for this other player not getting selected, who goes by the name of Dan Lancaster. But I think he's been selected for the Scotland A side instead. But I think he probably should have been popped into the actual Scotland squad for the Six Nations. A couple of reasons. His link up with the Glasgow players, who majority of Glasgow players are playing in the backs. Yeah, especially that centre partnership, but also the potential of playing with Jamie Dobby or George Horn. You've got players like Adam Hastings. I guess Hastings there, he's a good squad player. I've always said that. Robbie Hutchison returning. He's been in and out quite a bit. He's returning. I'd love to see Kyle Rowe there. I think Kyle Rowe's going to be a great chance of starting. The starting of Duhan and Darcy Graham as well. They're going to have to fight for their place, to be honest. Ben White's in the mix. You've got two captain on the side. You've also got Kyle Stain kicking there as well. So there's a few other names. I won't mention them all, but it is pretty stark, that back line. Players that are unlucky to miss out. There's two that springs to mind, which Dan Lancaster being one, but for me the second one would be Cam Redpath. What's your thoughts on the whole thing, Andy? I think you did comment. I gave me a text about the Cam Redpath situation. Do you think he should have been in over other people, or are you quite content with the fact it's other players, other centres in, other than Redpath?
Yeah, I'm kind of content with Redpath not being in. For 13, obviously you've got Hugh Jones, who was world class in the 15 of the year last year. I would say 13, it's a bit like tight head. Yeah, Fagerson is obviously the number one choice, like Hugh Jones is. But behind him, you've got Darcy
Yeah.
Ray, who can do a job.
Yeah.
Rory Hutchinson, I would say, is our best 13 after Hugh Jones, and McDowell can play there, but like with
Yeah.
Tuipulotu and, to be honest, Tom Jordan, I'd rather play McDowell at 12. I think that's probably why Redpath hasn't been picked, and Hutchinson played that well against, everybody in the autumn. I can see why Redpath has not been selected for the squad.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's going to be 3 weeks of like game after game after game, and then it's a fallow week. I'll be very surprised if there's not any injuries in this initial 3 weeks, and Redpath would obviously be your first choice centre to be called up. In terms of fly half, yeah, I thought you were going to say something about Ben Healy there.
Fuck no. Fuck no. No, you're all right. Fuck no. No, I was just. If you listen to Monday's podcast, or Tuesday's podcast, sorry, to understand what Andy's getting at there. But Ben Healy, no, not at all. There's a couple of players, like, if you look at, I've got the Scotland A squad up, and there's some couple of players that would get kind of called upon. Hiddleston's is there for one. I would love to see Alex Masabaka get called up. He plays for Montpellier. He's Tongan born, but he's got a Scottish grandparent, to the best of my knowledge, and he has been playing, and he's a beast. We've also got Andy Christie as well, kicking about there, so I think Christie will be higher in the pecking order compared to Masabaka. But you never know, might get 2 injuries in the back row department. In terms of the backs, I mean, this is the strength and depth we've got. We've got Gus Waugh, who often starts for Sale Sharks for 9 cover. We also got Ben Ashfar, who again, he's been playing out with skin, like for Glasgow. The chances he gets, the chances he's been getting, he's been playing very, very well. I rate him a lot. He's like Jamie Dobby's obviously above him in the pecking order, but Ashfar has been playing pretty sublime, with the chances he gets. You got Lancaster there. Harry Patterson, he's been in and out a little wee bit. I think he's been a bit cursed with injuries at certain times. Aaron Reid as well, again, in terms of winners for Sale, unbelievable in the Gallagher Premiership. But when you're up against the quality there is, yes, you're going to struggle to get in. And you've got Redpath there as well, who probably will end up coming to the squad at some point in the campaign.
Did Sale Sharks not get pumped in the last game that they played in the Champions Cup? No.
Aye, but they were also playing to lose. And if Sale did get beat convincingly, but it just shows the levels. But Gus Waugh and Aaron Reid, both respectively, have actually had they always have pretty decent seasons. I mean, as a collective, to lose when they've got just world class players, you can't compete with that when you're a club like Sale, who are that good, but they don't have that much kind of depth. But they did get absolutely gubbed. There is no other word to say that. But hey, some people have off days at the end of the day. But no, so that's my initial reaction. I'm not overly surprised with it. I'm not unhappy. I would say that it's not often we can say about Townsend, unhappy about Townsend and some of his methods. I liked how you mentioned McDowell there. I'm hoping McDowell gets some more minutes there because he deserves it, in my opinion. And yeah, I think that's all. That's all I've really got to say today. Just a little kind of preview of the squad. You've got all the other squads coming out, like Scotland Club squad. There's a fella from Gordonians up in Aberdeen up our way. The only one that everybody else is like down in the border. So congratulations to that fella for getting in. Archie Deans, I think his name is, or something. Somebody Deans. Plays in the forwards, so congratulations getting there. Hopefully you get some minutes. But in terms of the Scotland squad, there we are. I'm excited to see what happens. I can't wait for the first fixture. It's not long at all now. Let's see how we get on. What's your thoughts, Andy? How would you like to finish off?
Yeah, I don't really have much expectations for Scotland, so I suppose looking to a few players, see if George Horn finally starts. He probably won't. Probably won't make the squad because, well, he's made the squad obviously, but the matchday squad is what I mean. And yeah, Freddie Douglas, before he's keeping out Christie, there's been a lot of talk about him. Is he our Henry Pollock? Is he gone to... Yeah, I've heard a lot of good things about him and seen him play, and let's just see if he can do it for Scotland before he's being talked up before now.
He definitely has a swipe of Pollock in terms of his play style, especially in defence. His turnovers are absolutely phenomenal, but minus the blonde haircut, minus the controversy and everything, and maybe a few more people like him. But other than that, yeah, there's similarities there. Nice one. Okay. Right. Well, thank you for listening. Just a short one today, just to discuss the Scotland squad. I hope you enjoyed it. Get your comments in. What you you think's been lucky, unlucky, what you think's going to happen in the Six Nations, which we'll preview in a later episode, not too far down the line. Okay, dokie. Thank you for your time, Andy. Before we leave, it's Andy's birthday. Hey, happy birthday, Andy! Woo! So, Big Andy is now 27. He's officially an unk. He's definitely entering the unk era. But hey, I hope you have a good day, Andy. Listening to me waffle absolute shite. Thank you for taking the time out of your day to do this. Okay, dokes. Right. Don't forget to subscribe.
Thank you, Zav.
Leave a comment below. I see Andy up. Give it in there. Don't forget to subscribe. Comment below. Share to a fellow who needs to see this. And remember, get involved. Okay. See you later, guys.
See ya.